Hi everyone, I'm Mark Leeming from the 1 Minute Preacher. Now, last Thursday in part 1, we looked at how whenever you move away from the political center, whether it's from the right or from the left, you enter into the realm of radical political ideologies, which start behaving like fanatical religions demanding cult-like obedience. And in our time, it's the far left, which has become the new religion of the West, with many young people, including many church youth, who are its most committed converts. Now, I know when it comes to our Christian faith, we tend to shy away from talking about politics. At least that's what we do here in Canada. However, we need to wake up and call a spade a spade. The far left is using the concerns that many people have about the environment and social issues to push their own radical agendas. It's all about gaining political power, not about the environment or social justice issues per se. So part 1 was my attempt to explain the problem. Here in part 2, we'll look at some things that we as Christian parents can do from a biblical perspective to help our youth see what's really going on and to help them think for themselves. But before we do that, if you have a cup of hot coffee, tea, or any other hot beverage of preference that you'd like to start your mornings off with, a toast to having a wonderful Thursday. Now, let me begin by saying that everything that I'm proposing in this video can be done by any Christian parent. You don't need a theological degree, nor do you need to sit your kids down and lecture them for hours on end. Rather, it can be done by asking them some simple questions, whether it's around the dinner table, taking your kids to hockey practice, or bringing them home from youth group. It's learning to take advantage of any opportunity that arises to toss in a truth bomb here and there and help them think. For example, let's say that the Twitter mob is out in full force again, casting judgment upon someone's entire life by a tweet that they made 10 years ago, and are now demanding that this person's career and reputation be destroyed because of it. And for argument's sake, let's say that what the person tweeted really was wrong and offensive, even by the standards of the day. Ask your kids what they really think about it and why. Ask if they think that it's fair and just what the other people are doing to that person. How would they feel if it happened to them? What about forgiveness and restoration? Most of all, what would Jesus do? Would he be leading the mob with pitchforks in hand? Or would he be more likely be standing in between the mob and the person, saying, "He who has never sinned, tweet the first tweet"? Now, of course, I'm referring to the famous story of when an angry mob wanted to stone an adulteress, and Jesus said to them, "He who has never sinned casts the first stone." You see, the mob had no interest in the woman's restoration, no interest in extending mercy and forgiveness, no recognition of their own moral failings. They, like any other mob, simply wanted an excuse for violence. And as Christian parents, we need to take every opportunity that we can to show our kids the difference between Jesus and today's new religion of outrage. You see, Jesus started out with a premise that as mortals, we've all sinned. No one is perfect, not one. That's why he taught that we're not to cast stones, that we're not to judge others lest we be judged, that perhaps we should take that 2x4 out of our own eye before offering to take out the piece of sawdust in someone else's. Jesus truly was about hating the sin and not the sinner. He was not about seeking vengeance against people when they sinned, but rather in extending grace, mercy, and forgiveness. Jesus loved his enemies and called us to do likewise. Christ's entire ethos stands in sharp contrast to the radical agenda of the far left today, where in spite of all of their moral posturing about tolerance, understanding, and acceptance, it's really all about hating and taking vengeance upon your political and social enemies. We need to show our kids that in spite of what they're being told, the moral high ground is with Jesus and not with this new political religion of anger and hate. Well, hey, thanks for watching. Please do give this video a thumbs up and a share. And if you would like to join me next Thursday for coffee, please do hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell as well. I hope to see you next Thursday.